So you've made it to gold in the Street Fighter 6 ranked and you feel like you've hit a wall. We've all been there, trust me. I recently hit platinum with Cammy, so in order to help you guys improve, I will analyze 3 matches I've had in gold in order to give you some tips on how to rank up in this rank specifically and make that grind to platinum a bit easier. So the first match I want to look at is a match that I lost against a Guile. So I played so badly against him. And let me preface this by saying I absolutely struggle personally against zoners, or characters that have very good defensive tools. And you can see how absolutely impatient I was the entire time. And it's frustrating to watch me constantly go in, be extremely impatient in neutral, and just get punished for making the same mistakes over and over. Fundamentally, this was one of my worst games in gold. Not only did I not realize that her spin knuckle would not bypass Guile's blade, I didn't capitalize enough from her long range down pokes that you can drive rush into a full combo. I was constantly putting myself in the range of his better buttons and not spacing well enough to whiff punish because I was not patient enough to do so. Instead, I was giving him the easy punishes just because I was impatient. If you want a masterclass on how to play cammy against characters that are ranger like Guile, just watch Punk's match at CEO. It's absolutely insane. But basically, converting her longest range pokes into a full combo and setting up Oki is really how you should be doing it. So I may have won the first match against him because I was getting the lockdowns, I was pressuring well in a way, but he decided to play more patient, and because I didn't adapt to that, I ultimately lost the set. So the second fight we're going to look at is against Juri. This fight also challenged me, but in many different ways. A lot of Juri players like throwing, because this woman's normals and attack strings are really quick, and unless you read a throw, it can be hard to react to. They also like to be in your face all the time at Mach speed, which makes it really hard to really think about what you want to do and how to counter her. So I lost the first match after taking about 10 throws, and the next 2 matches I told myself I would focus on that. Having a goal in mind after analyzing your opponent's pattern is pretty essential in beating them. I mentioned this before in other tip videos for Street Fighter 6, but counterplay is pretty much the cornerstone of fighting games. It's the cornerstone of starting to win more. And even if you lose the first match, it doesn't mean anything if you use that loss to learn and come up with a plan. So I started reading her throws more, which this Juri also started mixing them up a bit more and doing less after I started taking them, so that's really good on their part. But a big chunk of this match was also using tools in order to stop Juri's offense. So reacting to the drive Russian with a punish and using drive impact to punish her pressing buttons in my face, as well as of course not getting bodied by throws and taking them, are the reasons why I ultimately made this set a 2-1 in my favor and not a 0-2 in hers. Because in this game it's very important to know your character's fastest punish button in order to punish Russians. I know sometimes it's a bit hard to react to, but if you start doing it consistently, people will have to think about how they approach you. They'll have to play neutral a bit better, but not just go in 5th gear, and go crazy in your face. So the third and last match was against a Marisa, and she completely bodied me in the first round. But once that second round started, I was like, okay, download complete. Time for the ass whooping. And I noticed that instead of trying to uselessly punish her Gladius and get my face destroyed because it has armor, right, I was poking her out of it instead, which again could have been converted into a full combo, but I suck. I was being way more mindful about my spacing and took into consideration the range of Marisa's attacks, which I know well because I also main her. But even though I was close to winning the set, I was getting considerably less patient, and it showed because I gave up one round pretty bad. And would I have slowed down and taken a breather, I think it would have turned out to be a very different match. But ultimately I still won somehow because I got some good punishes, but sometimes using Hooligan sparingly, if you notice they don't anti-air it can actually lead to some damage. In this instance, it made a big difference since the Marisa was not blocking the overhead. And at the end, I mixed up with the grab. And whenever you get a knockdown with cammy, like, you're in such a privileged position. So I mixed up my offense a bit and I got the win. And it's kind of funny because in this set alone, you can see how being patient helps, but how being impatient will get you to do the stupidest things and will get you punished over and over again. So I think it was a really good example to show you guys. So here's what I think are the important takeaways I learned from all the matches I played in Gold. Slowing down is the key. If you outpatient your opponent, you win. Because constantly trying to get in and trying to create an opening that isn't there is actually setting yourself up to get punished over and over again. This is essentially what you want to do to them, and most players in Gold know this for the most part. They understand with punishing, they understand their character's range with their normals and all of that, and they know how to pressure. But if you force them to come to you, if you make them frustrated by slowing down so much, by stopping their approach every time they start to try and come in, they will do stupid stuff. And that's when you convert off those mistakes for big damage. Another key part of leveling up in Gold is also mixing up your offense. If you see your opponent start to punish you for something or counter you for a move you do a lot, like for example, every time someone jumps in and I cannon spike them, you need to stop it. You need to stop doing it. 99% of people will continue to jump even if I anti-air them every single time. Being hard-headed or just doing it because it's what you're used to against worse players is never going to make you improve. You have to change your game plan according to the person you're up against. If you don't do that, if you continue to flowchart, if you don't adapt, you will lose. And I know cross-ups are pretty good in this game, but just jumping in mindlessly is not it. That is not how you use jumping in this game. So I hope this was helpful for someone. Let me know how your matches have been in Gold so far. And as usual, have yourself a wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon.